Hi, welcome. I am Lindsay Selser with the City of Eugene's Planning and Development Department. I manage the communications for our department and am the communication lead for the Town Square project that we'll be talking about today. I'm joined by Annie Lowe, the marketing director at Cameron McCarthy. They are a local firm who are leading the Town Square project design team, so we're really excited to be here and chatting with you guys today.
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, man, it's really fun to be able to be here talking with you and sharing some of this stuff with everyone, right?
Yeah.
But like Lindsay said, I'm the marketing director for Cameron McCarthy. We're the prime consultant on the project, and that kind of leads to this first question of what is the Town Square?
Yes, that is an excellent question. So I just want to ground everyone a little bit in the location so you can kind of have a visual of the project, what we're talking about. So if you think about downtown, the streets, so 8th Avenue and Oak Street, the park blocks are probably the thing that is most notable for folks in this, and that's where people know the Eugene Saturday Market happens every Saturday during the summer and spring and into the fall. And then the other piece of the project is the northern park block, which is currently covered by the butterfly parking lot. It has been for about the last 50 years. And so that's the other space. And then the components of this project, it's almost three mini projects within the bigger project. We'll be looking at doing improvements to the park blocks that would include a vibrant Eugene Saturday Market, all-season permanent home for the farmers market, and a new Eugene City Hall. So those are the main components to this project.
Yeah, that's perfect context. So let's just go a little bit deeper into what that means for us right now. Let's look at it in almost like a stage of life for the Town Square. So right now we are in the process of public involvement and concept design.
Correct.
So that's really, we're trying to determine exactly what it's going to be, right? So, in a handful of months, the public is going to be helping us through this process of co-creating the Town Square and what it looks like for us for the next however long, right? So this is like a once in a generation, once in a generation project, and so kind of buckle up, right?
Yeah, it's exciting. We're in an exciting time.
Yeah. So that kind of. And I do have a cheat sheet here, mainly because we have a lot to cover. But one question that I think we should ask right away is, why are we in this fireside chat?
It's very lovely
right now, which is warm. I mean, it's hot out, right? Yeah.
Yes. So why are we here?
Yeah.
I think that while it may seem a little bit weird to have a local government agency talking to a group of innovators and entrepreneurs, the reality is that the City of Eugene is made up of innovators, creatives, and entrepreneurs. Each project that we work on, I consider to be a mini startup, right? From the riverfront redevelopment, the steam plant redevelopment, to a simple street redesign, or even in an overhaul of the way that we operate, something like our wastewater system.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
All of those are different projects, and they're mini startups. We have a problem that we need to solve, and we have to be creative and innovative every time, each time we do something new, and that's really how I see it. So we're excited to be here. We actually see a lot more similarities with this group than I think the average person would.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And the only thing I would add to that is, when I think of founders, startup founders, and their ability to validate thought, innovative thought, and ideas, right? They're amazing at it, and they're also just this astute quality of knowing how to do market research really, really well. And that's part of what we're doing with this at this point in the project, is really validating concepts and design and ideas and working with the public to help us really figure out what this place is going to be and co-create together. So it makes a lot of sense to be talking to these awesome innovators, right? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
So I think that we really want to dive into, what are we doing differently with this project? What makes this different than any other public involvement design project that we do in the city?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and kind of the meat of the discussion too. So there's a lot of different things that are happening right now, and we have, just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to bucket them right? So we have these tech digital-based ideas that are they're adaptive methods to the public outreach, in addition to the tried and true methods that we've been using for years and still work. Yeah. So from the tech side, the digital side, really what we wanted to accomplish with this was we deeply wanted to reach all these different demographics. So by blending tech and digital ways of communication with these tried and true methods, it helps cast that net to everyone, which really starts to kind of foster that collaboration between physical and digital space and design, which I just could geek out about for a long time about. I'm really excited about that stuff. So, and kind of a pretty applicable example of that is virtual reality and augmented reality. Absolutely. And how we can use those tools in a very practical way right now, and help people really visualize and test these concepts.
Well, and that's such a difficult thing for us to do with a project, is just trying to get people outside of what they see in the space. So what's currently in the park blocks or what's currently happening, how do we get them to open their minds to something different? Sure. And those technologies have been pretty amazing to help us move to the next level. Yep. So it's super exciting to be able to get into this stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think just taking a step back a little bit is another component that we brought into this project was to build that custom website that we have for the project. Yep. It's a relatable, fun platform, really flexible.
EugeneTownSquare.org.
Yep.
Say that a bunch today.
Yeah. So with that, it's very scalable. So it will be built and developed as the town square is developed. So in 5 years, hopefully it's a place people go to and they can really see what's actually happening in that space before they go to it, or whatever it might be, programming, whatever it might be. There's a lot of possibility there. And then the one thing I would just sort of couch all of that in is that when we started this process, we asked ourselves that, how can we leverage all of these creative minds, from tech to design to architecture and everything in between? How can we elevate all of those beautiful minds to create just the best space ever with the public and the co-creating of that?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and it's been so fulfilling to go from the pursuit of this project to seeing all of these things happen. Yes. And working with the city has been just delightful.
Oh,
so,
well,
yeah, right?
We like you guys too.
Yeah, that's great.
It's been a really good partnership. So I think that one of the things too with that, and just thinking about, you're talking about this co-creation of this civic space, and how do we leverage all of these brilliant minds, and then the people, the stakeholders who are using this space on a daily or weekly basis for their livelihood. We kind of can go back to just here and sitting here with this group. Yeah. Rain is downtown Eugene, right? Mm-hmm. We had this really re-emergence of our downtown coming out of the recession, and then 2010, 11, you just started to see downtown fill up with tech companies, creative companies, design firms, architecture firms, landscape architecture firms. All of that energy, that creativity, innovation, that is downtown now. That is our hub. And so working with this group of people, but just using technology and all of that creativity in this project fits so well, because this project is location-based. I mean, it is the heart of our downtown. And so it's just really lovely to be able to bring all of those aspects together, have the tech employees, the creative employees, all of those folks that are downtown know about this and infuse that space. They're going to be power users when we're done of this space. They're going to be there all the time. They're going to have meetings. So we want that everyone who's going to use it to really be at the table. Be a part of that conversation. Absolutely. Be heard. They can then see themselves in that built space when it happens. It's we've been out at Saturday Market tons of times, probably at least a handful, but I'm closer to 10 probably. Wow. Just tabling and, asking the users of Saturday Market what they think, and the vendors can come and ask questions. So that's great. we're innovative on the tech side, also innovative on the just like being with the people side. So
Yeah, for sure.
super
That's so
exciting.
cool. Yeah.
So as we're talking about innovation, what are the challenges to thought innovation in the context of public engagement? I mean, this is a big thing. This is some new stuff, and how are we seeing that happen?
Yeah, that's, again, really a great question, and something that, anytime you start something new, fresh, from scratch, inherently there comes a slew of challenges. But I'd say, I don't want to oversimplify that, but to sum it up, I would say the biggest challenge is striking that balance between these really adaptive kind of pushing the culture, right? These methods with the tried and true methods, and
Absolutely.
That perfect blend. I think that'll take a little bit of time to figure out exactly what feels right, and it likely will change over time as well. Part of why we're doing these adaptive methods is really to make sure that we're responding to our current sociology, right? Our society that needs to be heard and listened to and given a chair at the table, and there are just so many things that we need to be considering in that. So with that comes some challenges, but I think one of the really has been very evident in this process and has helped navigate some of those challenges is that the team and the community as a whole has been very open-minded, and that basically, going back to this appetite, the community has an appetite for these things to be kind of remastered in a way.
Absolutely.
So so they're problems, but they're challenges, but they're very manageable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, from our side, from a government perspective, in terms of challenges, sometimes when you're trying something new, or if it's technology-based, there may be an initial investment or a cost that we have to balance with the, financial responsibility that we have.
For sure.
But we have so many great partners that we're able to usually try some really cool stuff. The other challenge that we always are really needing to think about as a government is accessibility. While it can be hard for some people to imagine, there are still people in our community that don't have good access to the internet, and so having everything be technology or digital based can be really hard for some people, so we have to make sure that we're providing both options so people can engage where they're comfortable, where their education and experience lend themselves the best. And the other piece is that we, as the government, work for everyone. This is everyone's space, and so we can't just say, okay, like this is our target market, we're going to focus on that.
Sure.
Everyone is our target market because everyone's going to use the space. So that's a thing that we're working with you constantly and our project management on. And I think the big piece you struck that early on is the balance, right?
Yeah.
And so balancing those impacted stakeholders, the folks who are in that space, using it for their livelihood, the businesses that surround it, with the community at large, and having those voices merge into something that is a solution for everyone, because we need this space to work 24/7, 365 days a year. And so that's a challenge, and we are navigating that, and it's really exciting. There's so much potential.
Yeah, I love what you said about just, this is for everyone, and I'm actually going to be talking about this tomorrow too, but just that idea and what civic space is, and it is a symbol of democracy, and we have to honor that and make sure that that everyone has the ability to love that space like everyone else, right? So it's really motivating to be in the spot for sure.
Yeah, it's exciting. Totally. And it is our civic heart, you know? It's like our city hall and our Lane County commissioners and the public service building is there, and this is where decisions are made, and it's just really cool. So what does the future hold for this? Like what's next? Like where do we go from here? So we're in this public involvement. We are bringing the community together. We're using these new techniques, technologies. What's next?
Yeah, so I'd say immediately tomorrow is the YP Summit. So I think you're going to be there.
I will be there.
Yeah. and hopefully a lot of other people will be there. We're going to be breaking this down a little bit further, this idea of code-breaking public space, and we have a panel discussing this and really digging into some of these really adaptive methods and getting a better understanding of that. So we're going to start there, and really what kind of the message behind all of that is to constantly have these conversations with everyone, and be in the room with others and share these ideas and these thoughts and these the spirit behind the project. So going to the next level of the future, a lot's going to happen with the project quickly, insofar that we are moving into concepts, and that will ultimately become one concept, and hopefully that's where we can plug in some augmented reality testing, so that will be very cool. And I think there's some, potential partnerships there too that we could probably brainstorm. And then, if we go back to kind of this tech side of it, and I'd mentioned the website, and it sounds so simple. It's the website, right? Everyone has a website, yeah. But the idea behind that, and how we, kind of the value proposition of that site that we worked with the city on, with you on, was that it would continue to build with the project, right? And I think I touched on that a little bit earlier. So really, fostering that through the process, I think will be very beneficial in the long run. So my charge on that is to help make that happen. So yeah, that's one of the things that I think will be really cool to watch down the road. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's super exciting. So I mean, I think that the big question is always, how do we know if you're successful?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what we always get asked. How do you know if you're successful? And I think that from a local government perspective, we really feel that this project will be successful if, when we build this, when we get to the end of this, that when people come, they see the community reflected in the space. That's a space that is for everyone. We have a thriving Eugene Saturday market in this space, that our farmers market has found a permanent year-round home that they can grow into, that our city again has a city hall where we can be proud and have public meetings, but also just a place where we can come together. And so this space is our collective civic heart, and it's a place that we should be able to come together and celebrate our successes, mourn our losses, share our voices.
You bet.
And so there's just this huge potential for this space. So the immediate future is, as you said, in the project, we are in our public involvement, we're in concept designs. So July 18th, in the park blocks from 5 to 9 p.m., we will be hosting our next public event, and that's where you're going to see the first 3 concept designs. And so there will be 3 designs that folks will be able to come. This is going to be a really fun public event.
Like a fair style.
Yeah, fair style. Like, it's going to be like people can come, see what they what they like, what they don't like. I like this piece from this one and this piece from this one, and kind of move them around and really kind of start to like visualize what this could look like. We just really want to hear what Town Square means to them. What do they want to see there? So July 18th, and then from there, those will be refined, and then we will, in September, have another meeting where we'll get to one concept design, get some more refinement, and then we'll present a final concept design to council in October. So this is a fast-moving project. It's really exciting, and we really we need everyone's voice involved.
Absolutely.
And we're trying new things, and it's a great time to get engaged.
Great. I mean, you said it all, so I don't think I have to say anything else.
Well,
Also, follow us along on eugenetownsquare.org.
Yes. We're also on social media.
Yes.
We have a wonderful Instagram.
Yeah, the Instagram is great. It's really fun.
But yeah, we see this creativity, innovation, and a startup, and so we hope you'll join us for the ride for the rest of this project. And thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot.